Danny Bailey, otherwise known as DB2. I'm just starting off a new Star Wars video vlogging, I guess. Some ideas I had about Star Wars, I want to get them out there. A few things that I wanted to do with this video. First of all, there's been a lot of division in the Star Wars community lately just because some people are just being mean, and other people that aren't even Star Wars fans are kind of like, oh, I'm not going to be a Star Wars fan if that's what it's like. I'm here to say, you know what, there's a lot of loyal Star Wars fans, there's a lot of good people who love Star Wars for a long time, and it's time that some of us do something fun, do something good for the Star Wars community. So I just want to do my part. I'll just start off by saying over my shoulder here, you see my own Millennium Falcon that I made from the first Lego set, but I didn't actually buy the kit. I just looked up the instructions online. All the instructions are available online. You know, I made a few special modifications myself, but that's my Millennium Falcon. Enjoy. I wanted to call out Robert Gibson. I met him on Facebook talking about Star Wars. Just to kind of kickstart things for you, I just wanted to make this video, see if you would reply, see if you would make your own video. It'd be fun to kind of go back and forth a little bit because you've got a great voice, you got some great ideas for Star Wars. So I just wanted to kind of like say, hey, your turn. So Robert, if you're watching this, I hope you reply. Everybody else, today's episode is going to be about, there's plenty to talk about in Star Wars, 100 things I could say. To do a first episode, I decided to start with something small. Droids for the first episode. But pay attention because I have a big theory about R2-D2 I'm going to go into at the end of this episode. Stick with me till the end and you do not want to miss it. For all my theories, reply in the comments below. Be kind. It's just one man's theory against the world. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear your theories about the droids in Star Wars. Okay, the first droid I want to talk about today is L337 from the Solo movie. What is it? Solo, a Star Wars story. Okay. The Han Solo movie. I just call it the Han Solo movie. L337. Okay, I'm going to get my first pet peeve out of the way right now. Why does it have to say leaked? L337. That's like an internet speak thing that does not belong in the Star Wars universe. Okay, I've got my griping out of the way. L3 is a pretty fun droid. Lover or hater, I mean, people have their own ideas. I think the most important thing, hey, spoilers if you haven't seen Han Solo movie, why not? L337 and her dying breath was transferred into Millennium Falcon's Navicomputer or central computer or somehow incorporated into the Millennium Falcon's host computer and lives on even to the days of the original trilogy where C-3PO in interfacing with the Millennium Falcon's central computer was able to say, your computer has the most peculiar dialect. And so those of us who've been Star Wars fans for a long time, we went, yeah, that's why! Because L3 became the computer for the Millennium Falcon and lived on even to the days of the original trilogy. And now that that is part of the canon, we'll see how the Millennium Falcon central computer, L3, gets to live on into Star Wars Episode 9, maybe even some of the other stories with Rey, and we'll see what happens with the Millennium Falcon. It, of course, exists now in the new trilogy. That's very exciting. We'll see where they take that part of the story, because, you know, that's part of it now. The Millennium Falcon has her secrets. You know, her secrets. I love that, and I think that's pretty fun. Important droid moment in the Star Wars story. Next up in my list of droids to discuss is C-3PO. Gotta love C-3PO. You know, it's against his programming to impersonate a deity. High moral code for a droid. Built by Anakin Skywalker, as we know from the prequel trilogy. Interesting that a protocol droid would be built by a slave in the slums. What would give him the idea that he needed to build a protocol droid? And yet so many other protocol droids that you meet in the Star Wars universe are modeled exactly after C-3PO. It baffles the mind. Did he get some specs on C-3PO or something? I'm not questioning this. I just want to know. Maybe they just did it for fun. They didn't really like put it all together. I don't know. But what does Anakin Skywalker know of a protocol droid? Or even what does he have the need of a protocol droid in an environment such as this? To quote Owen Lars, I have no need for a protocol droid. And C-3PO agrees with him. So, okay, that's all I have to say about that. C-3PO is great. We want to know what happened to his arm before The Force Awakens. Maybe we'll never know. Maybe it's in a book that I haven't read. Let me know in the comments. Next up, all the different, like, really deadly droids that are awesome and don't show up in the original trilogy. IG-88. Well, he does show up in The Empire Strikes Back, so I have to take that back a little bit. IG-88 does appear in The Empire Strikes Back, but he's not doing, like, crazy good, cool stuff as we see him in many of the expanded materials. IG-88, K2SO, battle droid from the prequels and the Clone Clone Wars. The Destroyer Droids, which are deadly to Jedi. All these things exist in sort of like the high times of the Republic, but then they don't exist anymore in the times of the original trilogy. Well, the computer graphics didn't exist yet, so maybe that's why we didn't get all those kind of things. That's kind of a unfair treatment of these awesome droids. I think a better way to say it is that during the war, maybe these companies were trying to keep their secrets. The Separatists certainly would want to, and maybe the big factory and the specs for building the destroyer droids, for building droids like K2SO, were lost as part of the Clone Wars, and so maybe that is a good reason why that they were not really around that much after Clone Wars. So in the original 4, 5, 6 trilogy and then into the future, maybe the galaxy just really got wrecked too hard. Been watching the Clone Wars animated series starting season 3. My cousin told me, just watch starting in season 3, you'll be fine. And yeah, it's been great so far. But yeah, they kind of go into how the Clone Wars is really hurting the galaxy economically, and you know, they're both pumping all these resources into buying more clones, buying more droids, and they're all going into these clashes. Makes for a great battle sequence. But when it really comes down to it, it's hurting the galaxy to just pour all these resources into building something only to have it be destroyed. That's not a sustainable future. All these battle droids, deadly droids that were either outlawed. We hear maybe something like K2SO became outlawed because they're so powerful, could infiltrate. Maybe it was after the stealing of the Death Star plans in Rogue One. The Empire stopped using K2SO droids because they became the cause of the downfall of the Death Star, and you know, that's totally an Imperial thing to do, be like, no more K2SO droids anywhere because of this one time. Okay, throw them all in the trash heap. The K2SO droids, I'm sure they fought back. Anyway, K2SO, hats off to you. Which brings me to the last of the deadly droids that I wanted to discuss today, General Grievous. He's so evil, and he's so intelligent. He's a brilliant strategist. Self-preservation instincts are top-notch. He always is getting away in the Clone Wars, and we see him first in episode 3, you know, battling against Anakin Skywalker. Oh wow, he's just so evil and so powerful, and it just makes you wonder, why did they not make like 100 General Grievous droids, and they probably would have just won the war easily. Maybe it's just too expensive to make a General Grievous droid. I don't know the backstory on that, but I'd love to find out at some point. So if you have a book that I should read about that, that'd be fun. Let me know. General Grievous, though, he's really powerful. I mean, almost to the point where sort of like, does this droid really need to exist? Like, should this character, it's kind of like just fun that he's a droid, but on the other hand, like, if he's a droid, he could be replicated. He could be created, as we see from L337 becoming the brain of the Millennium Falcon. I think there's something bigger about droids, which leads me to my big fan theory about R2-D2. Let me set the stage for you. R2-D2 was there in the prequel trilogy when Obi-Wan met Anakin. They were all on the Queen Amidala's ship. R2-D2 was there when Obi-Wan met Luke Skywalker on Tatooine, episode 4. R2-D2 was the one that Leia entrusted the Death Star plans to in episode 4. On Tantive 4, take this to Obi-Wan Kenobi. Her most trusted ally? R2-D2, the droid? R2-D2 was there when Luke met Yoda on Dagobah. R2-D2 was there in episode 7, been asleep for a long time while Luke was away, not training any Jedi. R2-D2 wakes up. Then Rey, Chewbacca are able to go to Octo, meet Luke Skywalker, and a new generation of Jedi begins to be trained. I've set the stage for you. But my big theory is that somehow, I'm trying to exactly say how this is, but maybe R2-D2 is the Force. Or R2-D2 is like a personification, living embodiment of some past Jedi. All the Jedi can like Force Ghost, of course. You know, the ones that are powerful enough to kind of like live on and pass on their wisdom to the next generation. Yoda, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker proved to be able to do that. But why not any of the Jedi from before the times of the movies? How come there's no like really old Jedi that are coming back to Force Ghost, lead the Jedi Council or anything in the prequel trilogy, for instance? How come there's no Force Ghosts from Jedi that we have not met before? Maybe they just didn't think of that. I don't know. I think that. So here's my big theory. R2-D2 is somehow he's Force attuned. Every person he seems to be able to touch, he's always there whenever a new generation of Jedi is being trained. Maybe that's just the storytelling. They want to have R2-D2 around, and he happens to be around. I forgot an important point, too. R2-D2 is there in the astromech slot of Red 5 when they destroyed the first Death Star. Luke had to channel using the Force to make that shot. And Obi-Wan Kenobi was, speaking to him. Use the Force and trust your feelings. And he put away his nav computer, and R2-D2 was there, over his shoulder in the back, guiding him through that Force growth moment. If R2-D2 is there, he's got the Force on his side. And you know what else? Darth Vader on the first Death Star, when Obi-Wan Kenobi arrives with the whole crew. Obi-Wan is here. The Force is with him. The Force is with him. Well, when was the Force not with him? Now R2-D2 is with them. The Force is with them. Okay, I know this is all kind of like a harebrained idea. Danny, what are you up to? You're trying to like make stuff up that's not in the movies. R2-D2, maybe a personification, a vessel for a long-lost Jedi, powerful Jedi. He's somehow a conduit for the Force. He's there whenever a new generation of Jedi is being trained. R2-D2, the Force awakens. R2-D2 awakens. Okay, that's my big theory. I know there's some holes in it. Let me know in the comments. Robert, I'd love to hear from you, man. Either respond to this or talk about whatever you want. I'll reply to your prompts too. We love to hear from you all. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And may the Force be with you.